Hello everyone, today we're going to be looking at using the layer mask and blending an image with another image using the gradient tool and the layer mask. So if we see over here, we're going to take this picture of Michael Jordan and the Chicago skyline and really bring those two together so it looks something like this using our layer mask. So let's go ahead and get started. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to right click on these and save the image as, and it should be called Michael Jordan Dunks versus the Jazz, and same with the save image as, same with the Chicago skyline. Go ahead and save the desktop and make sure you trash those before you leave today. And when you bring those up, you should end up with this. Okay, your picture, both pictures. Boom, boom. Alright. So what we're going to do first here is we are going to drag Michael Jordan over to the Chicago skyline. Now you can see that it's not the same size, so we do need to make it bigger. So I'm going to go Control T, or if you will, Edit, Transform, Scale. And I'll hold down the Shift key. I'm going to make it bigger. Alright, now I do need to make him, I think I can make him a little wider. Sorry, Michael. And I'll go ahead and hit Enter. Alright, so behind here we got the Chicago skyline, and we have Michael Jordan. Now I want to turn the Michael Jordan layer, and let's go ahead and name it MJ. And I'll name the background Chicago. Yeah. Chicago skyline. There we go. And I'm going to turn this Michael Jordan layer into a mask. Now, basically a mask is something that you can put on an image whereby if you paint in black, you see what's underneath the image. It's kind of a simple way of looking at it. So let's see how this works. And of course, when we use a mask, we're manipulating an image non-destructively, meaning that we're not really changing it, we're just messing with the mask, and we can always delete the mask and take the image back to its original form. So I've got the MJ one highlighted here, layer highlighted. I'm going to go down here and click on Add Layer Mask. And when you do that, you see that you got the little white icon. And if something's white, it's always going to show what's on this layer. However, I've got black in here, and watch when I do this. If I paint something white, if I paint something black, and that's the color here, I can see what's underneath here. That's how a layer mask works. So wherever you paint black, it shows, and you can see over in here that I painted in black so I can see through it. So I'm going to undo that. There we go, back to where we were. And instead of painting it, I'm going to use a gradient. Now I want to make sure it's black and white here, so if it's not, you click the black and white, and the black's on top, it's the foreground color, white is the background color. And I'm going to click the gradient tool, and there we go. So I'm just going to have this one, it should be foreground to background, that's all we need. And just click somewhere else, there we go. And if I just pull something down like that, well, that's backwards, let me try up here. I'm going to start at the bottom here, and I'm going to, if you hold down the Shift key, by the way, you can make a straight line. If I just make it up here, you can see that where it's black, it's shining through the bottom, and where it's white, we see the original picture of Michael Jordan. So where we basically painted in black, we can kind of see through. Now, obviously, it's not pure black because we can still see some of the players in the basketball picture down here. So I'm going to undo that. So I'm going to start up a little higher. And when I start up a little higher, it turns into black, dark black, and so I'm going to see underneath there. And we can start to see just Jordan. So I'll undo that again. And again, I'll start right here. There we go. And so we get the illusion of Jordan basically dunking over the Chicago skyline. And we can see over here we have black on the bottom. That's our mask part. We see through white on top, which is why we see the top image, which is the image of Michael Jordan. And what I mean by working non-destructively, if I go over here to the layer, and this is our layer mask, and I pull just the layer mask into the garbage, it'll ask me if I'll apply it before removing. Sorry, let me undo that again. I just pull it in here, and I'll just delete it. It takes me back to where I was before. I'll Control Z to get it back. Alright, so we've got this image. I'm going to save it now. File, save as, let's call it MJ Chicago. There we go. And I'll save it to my desktop as a JPEG. Okay. So that's saved. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple different images of these. So I'm going to add a layer adjustment, and it's going to be right here. Third one, oh, I guess 1, 2, 3, fourth one over. And when you get this, you get all these different options. But if I just go black and white, you'll notice that, and this pops up too, and I'll just click OK. You notice how it puts this black and white on top, and everything underneath it turns to black and white. So I can easily get a black and white photo from a color photo. And when I'm done with that one, I'm going to go File, Save As. And I'm just going to add B&W for black and white and save that to the desktop. So now I've got 2 photos saved. And let's see here. I'm going to pull this whole layer into the garbage, and it should take me back to color. There we go. And the next thing we're going to do is play with some of the artistic filtering here. And if let's see here, if I go to Filter and Artistic, I can see I have all these different things I can do. Basically, I can turn this into a watercolor or a neon glow or a colored pencil. We'll just do the first one here. If I select colored pencil, and this is what pops up over here, it takes the image and moves and basically turns it into a colored pencil. And I can even change the width of the pencil that it looks like it's being used, or the pressure of it. And you can see the different styles we can get. There's cutout and dry brush and fresco and neon glow. You can see the different plastic wrap, kind of unique. The changes that you can make to it. Here's a watercolor, and you can even say I want a thicker brush basically to make these with. And so you can kind of play with them. And this is artistic, and then there's more if you want to turn it into a stained glass and change the cell size. There you go. I'll just, let's see here. So pick whichever one that suits your fancy. And again, there's more. You can make it look like you're looking through glass. It's kind of interesting. So pick whichever one you want. I'll try watercolor. So I changed this one to watercolor. Now when I click OK, only that one got changed. So I'm going to do the same thing to the Chicago skyline. I'll go Filter, Artistic, Watercolor. There we go. And I'll click OK. Alright. Now it looks like it was painted rather than the original photograph. And I'll go File, Save As, not black and white, but save it as a watercolor. So now I have 3 of these saved. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on a panoramic size image here. So I'm going to go File, New, and I'll make it 12 by 4. Click OK. I'll just get this out of the way here. So I'm going to bring them here. And if I just go File, Place, and I go find the first one. There we go. And I'm going to hold down the Shift key and make it a little smaller. And I figure I need to make each one about 4 inches so it spans all the way across. And just hit Enter and just go File, Place, and go find the black and white. I kind of messed those up, didn't I? I'll cancel that. There it is. Let's see. So save as, I need to save as a JPEG, don't I? There it is. Okay, there. And let's see. There it is. So on this one, I'll go File, Place. And there is my watercolor one. Try to make it the same height. That looks right. And bring it over here. Hit Enter, and now I just need the black and white one. So, okay. Test it with me here. I'll just go to the history here. And hopefully you didn't make the same mistake I did, but let's go to the history here, and there we go. And I'll change this one to black and white again. As we saw, that was really pretty easy to do. Actually, I can just take it up one. There we go. And save that as a JPEG. Go. And click OK. And there we are. Okay. And I have all 3 pictures. Got the regular one, the black and white, and then of course it was the watercolor, I believe it was. And then I can go ahead and put in a, let me move this here, a box. Let's make this big. And I can go outside the lines here because it's not gonna use them. There we go. And let's see here. Chicago's colors are red and black, so I'll go with a red. And I'll make sure it's centered. I'll click in here. New rule. Apparently don't do it in black here. I'll type in red. There we go. down. And give it whatever font you think looks good. That one not so good. That's better. And I guess we could give it a stroke, maybe of white. There we go, if we wanted to. That makes it stick out a little bit. Okay. So there we go. Save that one, turn it in. And then of course your job is to come up with two images that are not copyright. Blend them together using the mask and the gradient tool. Make one black and white, give one an artistic filter of your choice, bring them all together and turn them in.